Today we're going to check out indie horror developer Chilla's Art's biggest flops. Are they as bad as their Steam review suggests? There's only one way to find out. Let me know what your favorite Chilla's Art game is down in the comments, and let's begin. The first title I played was Eevee, an adventure game that received mixed reviews. As far as I can tell, this is actually the first game released by Chilla's Art back in 2018. It is described as, quote, a short first-person horror narrative that unfolds a mind-boggling event, so I had high expectations. The game begins with the player character crashing their bike in a rainy forest and wandering around aimlessly. I could hear a bleeding noise, so I followed it only to find a random goat. I attempted to say hi, but I must have failed because the goat died. Uh-oh. I didn't mean to... I'm sorry, please. I then stumbled upon a structure where I found a couple of notes listing a bunch of names. Ah yes, Jones Creek. Great employee, Jones. Eventually, I found a seemingly abandoned building and, naturally, went inside. This is where you can find a collection of diary entries written by the titular character, Eevee, which tell the story of the game. Basically, Eevee's partner left her while she was 17 weeks pregnant. She decides to contact her mom, who she hasn't spoken to in 5 years, to ask for her help. Her mom receives her with open arms, and eventually Eevee gives birth to her son, Ezra. However, her mom passes away due to an illness, and Eevee's mental health worsens. After finding highlighted numbers on the scattered notes, you can open the combination lock to the house's final room. There you find a skeleton and the diary's final entry. February 18. Ezra, it's okay. We will be together forever. We're just going to see your grandma. We can finally all be together. I thought that was supposed to be the mind-boggling event mentioned in the description, but then we get to the ending. I didn't know what to do. I ran for the exit. I just knew I shouldn't be here. When I got out, I dialed 911 and waited for what seemed like hours. I led them to the building. But when we got there, the building, it wasn't there. Overall, I thought Eevee was an alright walking sim. The story wasn't particularly interesting, and reading the notes out of order was a little bit annoying. The game is meant to be a horror narrative, but there is little to no tension to speak of. I also felt the whole "the building was never there" thing was pretty cheap. It could be worse though, and so we'll be checking out the next game, Sphera. Yes, the footage you're seeing on screen is from a Chilla's Art game, believe it or not. While the rest of their library is composed of horror titles, Sphera is a casual simulation experience that received mostly negative reviews. It is described as, quote, a game about relaxation and exploration in a huge grass field filled with animals. You play as a sphere and your objective is to, quote, collect objects and grow the tree. Those are the only instructions provided in the entirety of the game. The gameplay consists of moving around the map, running into trees and animals in order to collect them. Oh. I guess we are picking up these trees as well. Look at that cute little cow. Disappeared. It's full of— oh, we picked it up! We picked the cow up. Look, it's right there. The graphics are very simple and the lighting isn't ideal, but I still think it's got a charming look. Once you bump into an object, a miniature of it begins following you around. This is fine until you collect a good amount of trees and they begin to hinder your vision. The grass doesn't help either, as it can make it hard to see where you're going. After a while, the sphere begins to glow and there is no explanation for what this means. We're glowing. Is that a good thing? Eventually, I figured out approaching the tree while the sphere glows results in it getting larger, as well as animals spawning. Every time you collect a certain kind of animal and the sphere begins to glow, you return to the tree to make it grow and for a new animal species to appear. After about an hour of repetition, multiple pink trees appeared all over the map. The game then ends with a shot of the Earth seen from space and a message thanking the player. Initially, I found Sphera to be a pretty relaxing, meditative experience. The music is nice and ethereal, and the simple gameplay makes it easy for the mind to wander. After half an hour though, I started to feel kind of bored and impatient. Was that all there was to this? If the game was free, I'd probably recommend it to people looking for a short, chill session. Unfortunately, Sphera costs 124 pesos, or about $7. At that price, I can't really say it's worth getting. The last game I checked out is Chilla's worst rated game, Welcome Back Daddy. Among the game's listed features we can find, quote, "This game is not meant to be easy, it is for challengers," and "Please don't be a chicken and use headphones, smiley face." Welcome Back Daddy is a round-based horror game where your objective is to find a key while dealing with different enemies, each having their own unique mechanics. Upon launching the game, we're greeted with this thing. Get it, dolphin guy. Break it down. The game doesn't tell you what you're supposed to do, but after wandering around, you will find a key and figure out which door it unlocks. After that short introduction, the real game begins. The first round's enemy is a ghostly lady you find in the bathroom. The only hint about her mechanic is a drawing near the house's entrance, though I don't really think it's particularly helpful. After getting jump scared and having the round restart multiple times for seemingly no reason, I looked up the dev walkthrough uploaded to Chilla's YouTube channel. There it became apparent that you are meant to stop moving whenever the lady stops singing. Even moving the camera will trigger a jump scare and the round's end. Even knowing the way she worked though, the first round was a struggle, since the song's volume is very low even with the game sound maxed out. Plus, she stopped singing very abruptly, so freezing just in time is pretty tough. Eventually, I found the key and made it to round 2. This round has you playing hide and seek with a demonic looking baby. After finding the baby in the garden, it will teleport to another location and you have 60 seconds to find it. You have to keep finding the baby until it drops a key. This too was pretty challenging as there are many hiding spots all over the house and the running speed is quite slow. Round 3 is where I hit a roadblock. It features both the ghost lady and the baby. Even with the 80 seconds you're given to find it, I wasn't able to beat this round. Having to freeze every few seconds in order to avoid the ghost jump scare while trying to find the baby as quickly as possible just proved too hard for me, I'll admit, so I decided to watch the rest of the dev walkthrough. Round 4 unlocks a different building where the dolphin guy will chase you. I gotta say, I like that the player character just happens to have a giant mannequin-filled mansion in their backyard. This time, you're supposed to flip power switches while avoiding the dolphin, though that is not communicated. It seems it cannot get you while your flashlight is turned off, so that gives you an advantage. The 5th and final round combines all 3 enemies, which sounds pretty hellish to me. The game's regular ending is a shot of a newspaper that reads "Found nothing but 3 dolls," which just seems a little underwhelming to me. The secret ending, which you get by finding all collectibles, shows a man's silhouette strangling a woman, hitting a child with a belt, and cutting a lizard's tail off. Yikes. Of course, these are meant to explain the 3 different enemies, so I guess the dolphin was actually a lizard after all? After having checked out all 3 games, one thing's become very clear. Chilla's art has improved a lot. These early games are rough around the edges, but they show they already had a pretty good understanding of atmosphere and some interesting ideas. Since 2018, they have continued building their repertoire and their work has become a staple of indie horror. I might not be able to recommend Eevee, Sphera, or Welcome Back Daddy, but I'm glad I checked them out regardless, if only to see what Chilla's games were like when they had just started. Thank you very much for watching, and please don't forget to unsubscribe if you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one!